show, we got Mr. Steve Matthews.
Hello,
Steve,
everyone.
thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you having me out.
Hey, I appreciate you coming to the 420 comedy show every Saturday that I've been putting on, man. It's tough getting something new going, and to have somebody come out and support, man, it means a lot to me. So thank you.
Oh, it was a blast, and I wish more people would come out and find it. But it was a good crew tonight, and we had a great time, some really good laughs. So
yeah, Aaron and Matt's sets were amazing tonight. They really. I fucking I ate dicks and shit, man. But I just really wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't in the vibe tonight. I don't know. It was a weird night for me. Got a little crossfaded. They offered me some free samples there at the store, and
Oops.
I think that's probably where I made the mistake. It was fun, man.
Well, I don't know what my excuse was, except I was just trying to insert some new stuff into some established material, so I was just kind of all over the place.
Hey, they have fun. I love that bit you did with Dee tonight. I love that bit when you get a woman in the audience that hasn't seen your act before and ask her for a date for your gay ass if she has a brother.
Yeah.
I love that bit, man. Love when it hits. It hits every time.
Bait and switch is a good form of comedy, and it seems to work the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you, we were talking about local comedy history around town. You said your first set was actually the year I was born, 88.
Yes, it was
32
1988.
years ago.
Yeah, it was 1988, and I was part of the Baptist Student Union at Western Kentucky University.
Oh, my gosh.
And some friends of mine, a lot of my friends of mine were there, and the vice president of the Black Student Fellowship heard of me and a friend just joking around, and they're like, hey, why don't the two of you come up with a skit? If we have a Christian nightclub, it would be kind of fun if the two of you did something funny. They all had all singers. They'd just gotten a poet to mix things up, and we wanted something funny. Well, so my friend Tracy, she and I were starting to come up with some stuff, and she got cold feet and backed out. So I just turned the whole thing into a stand-up routine, and I wound up doing it, like 3 or 4 times again for them, again, back 1988, 99, and I had a blast.
Wow. So what, do you remember what month?
Oh, I think it was like November.
Okay, I was about to say, if he had said anything earlier than May, your comedy was older than me. That's wild. So you did it 3-4 times. What kind of stuff did you talk about? Because this was before you were out.
Yeah, I was.
You're with the Baptist kids. What was your comedy about then?
Oh, back then, and I'll just explain for the listeners who don't know me. I am gay, but I did not come out until about 10, 11 years ago. So in college, I was just, presenting myself in a completely different light.
Yeah.
And so I was just picking stories out of the Bible and trying to make them funny, I remember doing this story about bringing over the walls of Jericho down and trying to do the description of the people trying to walk around 7 times and their feet killing them and, having to get the insoles for their shoes and stuff like that. It was just really goofy type of biblical humor about the stories and stuff. And then I usually try to tack some moral that was only very loosely tied to what I was saying into the end of it. But most of it was just corny stuff that I was trying to make the Bible funny.
Right on. So you've been at it 32 years this month. This is the 32nd year of your comedy now that we're in November, dude. So where did it go from there? Okay, so you came out 11 years ago. That's 30 years ago. Did you do comedy pretty regularly? Like you said, off and on, but like when did that change happen for you with the comedy and where you were more truthful? Okay,
well, I had done, some spots at the Caravan, the Louisville local club. I tried it once by myself, and then in the late 90s, a buddy of mine and I wrote some stuff together. But again, I didn't come out until, it was, I all of a sudden I completely blanked out. It was 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, that's when I started telling my friends. And I remember, okay, I had started doing comedy like a month or two before I decided to come out. And I remember, okay, I have to deal with this issue. And I had come out to a buddy of mine, and he had said to me, Steve, you can't be gay. You got the fashion sense of a homeless person. Look at, no, I think his exact words were, Steve, you can't be gay. You're wearing a tie with a polo shirt. And at the time, he'd seen all these pictures on my Facebook page where I was. And that turned into the joke. I got the fashion sense of a homeless person. And I did that as my first gay joke. It was there like, so, and that was my way of not backpedaling. And then it just worked more and more into it as I got more and more comfortable. And then it turns into the sets that people are used to hearing me now. So, but pre-2009, everything was way different. Yeah.
Do you think, you've been at it so long, do you find yourself getting better with time, do you think?
My own joke writing material, or my own joke writing style, and that has gotten up a lot better, The stuff I did when I was back in college, it was so corny and so forced. But now I'd come out, the material, when it's true to yourself, sometimes you come up with a lot better material.
Feeling, yeah.
Now my delivery, I have a tendency to stutter around a little bit. Sometimes I can do really good. Sometimes it's really bad. That's been a struggle for me. But you keep plugging at it. Sometimes I may have to step back, but it is what it is. But it's fun getting out there and doing it. So
it is, man. You've been real active. What's your favorite venue? Name some old venues for me, because I've only been at this for like a year and a half. Before that, what were some of? Because I know that Brewski's in Valley Station used to do the shows, and didn't you say you used to go out there?
Oh yeah, that was right after I'd come out, and it was so it was 2009, maybe up to about 2011, give or take. And boy, yeah, that was funny, and that was the biggest hodgepodge of people.
Yeah, I can imagine, because if you don't know, Brewski's in Valley Station is one of these just hole in the wall bars where you might get shot, or the man next door with a inappropriate offer might come by. I've only been in there twice, and both the times I was underage. That's why I went there. So, because they weren't checking IDs in that joint. In fact, one time I went there just to smoke weed in the back.
Really?
like about behind the bar in the little patio area.
Oh yeah, I know they didn't care. I remember I accidentally snapped a photo of one of the guys, and he was smoking weed, and I posted on Facebook, and I got this message: "Take it off, take it off." I was like, I'd put the pictures up so fast I didn't notice what I was putting up there.
You've never really been much of a smoker or anything, right?
I'm one of the few who doesn't. It's just not my thing, but
it's not for everybody, man. Like some people are the type to where they'll try to push their vices on other people. I'm not that way, dude, because I know for a fact not everybody is built to be a pothead. Shit. You never know how a drug is going to affect somebody. And some people are trippy enough, they're spacey enough to where they don't need the extra help.
Now, if they take caffeine out of the universe, then I'm completely dead. I've been trying to be more healthy and everything and drink more water and stuff, but it's like I have to have at least that one wake-up thing or I'm not going to function, Yeah. It's like I can't get rid of that one completely. I will kill people if caffeine's ever illegal.
What's your preferred method of caffeine? Coffee or?
Soda. And don't get me started on a Monster drink. Once I get a Monster drink, you might as well just hook it up to my vein.
I hear you. What about comics, man? You've been at it this long. Any interesting comics that you've been to open mics with that you didn't expect, or maybe people that have blown up a little bit now and tour? There's got to be some names. Heck, in my class alone, we got, Evan Lewis is getting his name around out there, and Jeff Toy and stuff like that. There's got to be some some recognizable names that you've worked with before, or locals.
Oh gosh, you asked me that question, and I always have a tendency to mess up his first name, but Renan Hirschberg was one that was around, back when I was first coming out. And I remember, when he was doing open mics, he hosted a show, and he was doing the open mic at the Caravan. And after I got off stage, he just randomly started doing this bit. He's like, sometimes I forget that Steve is gay, and I wonder what it was like being an overweight teen and gay. And he went into this whole spiel about me off the cuff, and I was just sitting there like, damn, I wish I could come up with that stuff that fast. And he came to me after, goes, oh, I didn't overdo it, did I? And I'm like, no. And again, I said what I said just now. I'm like, I wish I could thought of that stuff.
Right, I wish I was taking notes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know he's done a lot of other work around. That was the first person that just came to mind. But then some of the people that you and I have worked with in the circuit have been around for quite a while. Pete Wallenek. He's been at it during that 10 years that have been. The one that goes a while back is Ed Schmidt. Who does down at Union.
Ed Schmidt, yeah.
Does the Union Station open mic.
Laugh Train, yeah.
Laugh Train. Well, it was funny because about a year ago, we'd Facebook friended, not remembering who each other were, and he'd called for comics at an open mic that a lot of people canceled. So I went down there, and he looks at me and he goes, boy, you are familiar. And they're like, I don't know where, and he's like, Caravan, 1997, and he and I had done stuff together. So it took him a while because again that was before 10 years before the come out. So I was doing material that was so totally off, but doing what he was used to. But he was the one that I remembered that he and I had done shows together way back.
Right on. Have you done any showcases or anything like that?
I had done one for 360. When they had a Friday show at at Cafe 360, the Full Circle Comedy Show, I'd done one.
Chris Bowman.
Yep, Chris Bowman. He was kind enough to invite me for the second show that they had on a Friday night.
I miss that venue, man. I miss the world pre-COVID, man. It sucks.
But life goes on. He was good. He did have a virtual mic. And then picked it up at 360 for a little bit and then moved down to 21st Amendment. So, Chris has been great about keeping the trade rolling as best as he could. Yeah, exactly. Those virtual open mics were great to practice some new stuff. So
I couldn't get into them. I tried to do one, and I did it, They're just rough, man. Even the better ones on Zoom and stuff that, like I recently watched Evan do one. They've gotten a little bit better because they can, sync in like 10, 12 faces on a screen, and you can see when people are laughing and stuff. Because at first, a lot of people were doing it where it would, one comic's face up there at a time. And it gets awkward. You know what I mean? But dude, it's just not the same feel, not the same vibe. When you're not in a room with somebody, it's just, it's almost soul crushing so much that it's hard to do.
Oh, if we had to do it all the time, I understand where you're coming from because nothing beats a live crowd. No. But under the circumstances where we couldn't do anything, it was really good to have something where at least you had some outlet. And once I had done a lot of the material I'd done before, I got a chance to work on new material while everything was still shut down. So, it was just still a good opportunity. You do what you can when, things break down around you sometimes.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm hoping that once everything gets going, I got the equipment to run the one mic at the 420. I'm looking for other venues, man. I'm looking for a nice large crowd to do or showcase shows to put on at some point whenever we can have good crowds again. But it's scary, and a lot of people's lives are affected by COVID. And I've had a buddy lose his grandmother. I've had friends get very, very sick. I mean, I think I had it in February, late February, and I was crying thinking I was going to die. So I mean, shit, it's an ugly thing. I just hope we can get it nipped in the bud and get back to living life, chasing dreams with comedy, dude. It sucks.
Well, things are starting to open up back slowly, so we got it.
I'm just glad that not every single, when it first started happening, every single open mic was just saturated with COVID jokes.
Oh, yeah, I did it too, I admit it.
Yeah, I'm just so glad that we're not at that point anymore, man. But, no, I just wanted to sit down here real quick with you and chat about some comedy history, and state of the world and everything. And I really appreciate you coming over, man, and doing this with me.
It's been fun. I appreciate you having me out.
All right, man. Well, thank you all very much. Again, check out the 420 mic every Saturday up here, 1717 Charlestown Road. If you've stuck around this long, like, subscribe, follow. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Steve.
Bye, everyone.